have a bit of a dilemma. So as you know, I picked this car up from Mecum Auctions. It's a 1985 Mercury Capri ASC McLaren. I thought it'd be fun to have. Again, some nostalgia was triggered because my very first car was a Mercury Capri. It's kind of an oddball car. They only made 500. And when I was looking online on Mecum Auction, it looked like it was in really good condition. This is another reason why it's really important to be there physically when you go to any auction. If you'd like to see a video on the whole auction process, what I've learned now that I've bought a couple cars there, leave a comment and I'll definitely make a video on it. So back to this situation. I was kind of excited to get it. I had it delivered to Chicago Car Collective, who stored it while I just freed up some space and took care of some things. After I shot the intro video for this car, I drove it home. That was my first time really driving it and spending time with it. And I will say, it was not a pleasant ride. It kind of brought back some of the more negative memories of my first car, which was it was very rickety and squeaky and just kind of drove poorly. I don't think it's a real reflection on this particular model or this particular car that it drove very poorly. I think it's just a matter of it was a entry-level car in the 80s. They weren't really made with the suspension tightness and comfort that modern cars have. Quietness, all those features that you would find in a European car like a Mercedes or something at higher level, and that we kind of take for granted is today in most cars standard, like all the soundproofing and the overall ride quality of a modern car is massively more comfortable. So I really didn't enjoy the ride. It was also really dirty, which made me very uncomfortable too. So I brought it home, and I'll be honest, I kind of just pondered, like, what am I doing here? But I was like, you know what? Let me clean it up and see, what I can bring out just with a mild cleanup. So washed it, did a small paint correction, just a two-step paint correction, I just wanted to see the quality of the paint. Scrubbed and completely detailed the interior, so steam cleaned it. In fact, I cleaned it multiple times. It was that dirty. Then I was like, okay, this is actually looking a lot better. One thing that turned up is, although again on the auction site the paint looked to be really good, and even first impressions when I first got it, it looked really good. And as I started to just polish it and clean it and go deeper, I noticed that at some point in time, there must have been a respray on this, and it wasn't a really good job of a respray. There's a lot of areas where it's kind of just orange peeled. It's kind of obvious they didn't sand down a part. They just sprayed over something like a sticker or some Bondo. Like there's some marks and some telltale signs that some poor work was done on this. So there's that. So it definitely needs a complete new paint job. Strip down, start from scratch. So already my budget's going up because the plan was originally get a cool period correct body kit, paint that, do some paint touch-ups, and call it a day. But now we're talking a complete strip and repaint. So kind of disappointing there. I already knew the interior it's okay, but not to my liking. I wanted to recover everything, do a more custom interior. So my budget's just growing exponentially. And now that I've lived with it for a few weeks, I've been driving it here and there on nice days. And it's nice to have a convertible. But my Vanderhall kind of also solves for that experience of the open air. ride. So I don't know that I'm gaining anything here. So my dilemma is, what do I do with this? Um, like I said, full new paint is going to cost me with the body kit, $10,000 to $13,000. Interior, which I had planned, is probably going to cost about $5,000 to do what I want to do. Sound, another $5,000. Miscellaneous parts that it needs here and there, let's just call it $2,000. New wheels, probably around $3,000 to $5,000 with tires. And then engine modifications, that's probably another $10,000. So I'm looking at pouring in $40,000 into a car that, when it's done up, will probably be worth $20,000 at the most. And I'm used to that kind of thing. All of the Motor Rogue cars, that's why it's Motor Rogue, is we're kind of just doing not necessarily smart things with them, but it's enjoyable. So I don't mind. This car, I'm a little worried that I'm going to put all that work into it and I'm not going to enjoy it, because all my other cars right off the bat, like, I enjoyed the driving experience. This one, not so much. That being said, I'm torn, because once I do everything to it, I might enjoy driving it. It just needs a lot of TLC. It runs good. Like I said, it's not in terrible condition. It's just not in great condition. So it just needs a lot of love. So I guess I'm asking you guys, what it comes down to is, there's a chance I could do all the work and just fall in love with this car. Great. There's a chance I won't. And then, is it worth it, in content? Is this something you want to see, taking this particular car and putting a new spin on it, and just, increasing the horsepower, good sound system, body, knocking it all out, making it a show car, a driving show car? So content-wise, is this something you guys would like to see? If so, please comment, subscribe, like. I need your input here. So because my options are, hey, I could probably sell it and get out of it, for a couple $1,000s, or I go in deeper and I go down the rabbit hole, and it makes for some good content, and who knows what it becomes and how much I'll enjoy it after its final phase. So that's kind of where I'm at. Really could use your opinions, what you think of the car, what you think about modifying it, restoring it. Is it something you'd like to see, the process through? And if so, I'll dive in, and I will use this as kind of a, first test case for what I'd like to do on the channel, and that's find old, fun, quirky cars, not necessarily old, and then modify the heck out of them and turn them into show cars that I drive and have fun with. So it could be a good test case for that. So please let me know. That's about it.